He knows exactly what it's like to lose someone he loves. You know, like a father, like a mother, like an adopted son. Isn't that right, Batman?
The Joker is an insanely popular character, being played by a selection of talented actors, each bringing their own take on the Joker. But with all the Jokers that exist, there's always one that's described as the worst. If you look at any tier list or top 10 of Jokers, he's always the one who's at the bottom of the list. I'm of course talking about Jared Leto's interpretation of the Joker, who we first saw in Suicide Squad. Now, to say that this Joker was badly received is an understatement. Now, I know that this Joker has its fans, and I'm in no way saying that Jared Leto's performance was bad or stuff like that. And I'm not even saying that it's Jared Leto's fault that the Joker doesn't really feel like the Joker in that movie. If you look at interviews that he did before and after the movie, you can clearly see that his role was reduced to a side role, and the role that he was pitched and the role that he ended up playing were two very different roles.
Disappearing, going into that rabbit hole was something I never expected. I never thought in a million years that I would have the chance to play a role like this.
You know, it's a bit of an introduction to the Joker now. It's a bit more of a supporting part than maybe it could have been if they used everything. I think if people respond to this Joker and if they have a good time with this version of the Joker, then I could imagine him coming back. But if not, I'll just go live in a fucking cave somewhere.
Fast forward to the release of the Snyder Cut, and now we have this Joker, Jared Leto's Joker, but it's different. It doesn't feel off anymore, it feels like the Joker. This got me thinking about why Suicide Squad's Joker felt so off, and I've put it down to 3 reasons that stick out to me. The Joker before the Snyder Cut had barely any screen time with Batman. Even Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, which is a movie without Batman, has Bruce Wayne and the Waynes being a big part of the story and his character. Bruce Wayne and the Batman are a part of the Joker, and having none of them to interact with just doesn't do this Joker justice. Now in the Snyder Cut on the other hand, it's almost the opposite. We get Batman and the Joker in a confrontation which rivals Keaton's and Nicholson's. Just them talking in the scene gives us such a sense of their backstory as arch rivals. And this just does so much for the character. Having someone to bounce off and someone to have as an equal and an opposite fixed a lot of the problems which this Joker had, and made him an interesting character which you would actually want to see more of. The appearance of this Joker is definitely an interpretation of the whole playboy, bling bling boy style of the Joker that they're going for in Suicide Squad. They're obviously going for almost like an opposite of Bruce Wayne, in the sense of his slick back hair and stylish clothing. But all this considered, it's not the Joker that we're used to. If we look at past Jokers, they're all distinct by their suits and costumes, which all have an almost continuity about them, but then comes this Joker who kind of throws that all away for this different look and style, from the slick back hair to the coats to the tattoos, which is all gone in the Snyder Cut, which is an absolute upgrade. The hair is less tidy and the face is white but with no tattoos, and he finally has red around the lips, which is messy and probably isn't paint. The look is less well organised, and this works even because we know how he was in Suicide Squad and how he's changed as a character, which could have been the way that they might have taken him all along, which actually does redeem this Joker if that was the plan all along. Personality wise, the Joker has had many interpretations, so this is probably the least important part if done correctly. Every Joker has a different personality, but somehow we know that they are the Joker, and this all even applies to this Joker, but that doesn't mean that it was the best. The problem with this Joker in Suicide Squad is that you didn't really understand who he was. Say for example with Dark Knight or even Cesar Romero's Joker, you actually know what they're about and how they are. But with this Joker, it was never really clear what he was about. He's shown as this sort of ringleader, kind of like Heath Ledger's Joker, but instead of being like Heath Ledger's Joker and only caring about his personal goal and anarchy, he instead comes off as more of a mob boss style Joker in terms of The Godfather, which works in this interpretation, but it isn't the Joker that we know. Now, in the Snyder Cut, his group of minions is stripped away, and whatever his old plans were in past movies is gone, and we see a bit more on who he is. This is a pre-credit scene, so to say that this fully shows us who he is this time would be a lie. But again, he just feels more like the Joker. We don't know if we'll be able to see this incarnation of the Joker again, but I'm definitely glad that Snyder brought his Joker that some people saw as unredeemable and redeemed the character in a pre-credit scene. I think that if Zack Snyder took on the role of putting this Joker into one of his stories properly, then I think he has potential to stop this Joker from being at the butt of every joke. Zack Snyder's changes don't instantly make him into a perfect Joker, but it does at the very least fix or redeem this incarnation of the Joker.
We live in a society.
He said it! He said it!